All right, you know what it is. We're back, baby. Fantasy freaking football podcast.
Fantasy freaking football podcast, yeah.
I'm your man, Julian. James, tell him something.
JJ Hot Take at it again, baby.
Who else? Who else in the building?
Lavy laugh, man. Lavy laugh.
What's going on? We're back at it. This time we're coming at you with our top five flex plays to play weekly after the 7th round. So we're looking at who's going where and players you can get after the 7th round in your draft that are still weekly starters in your flex position. Or if you want even starting quarterbacks, if James or Brandon has a starting quarterback, starting quality caliber players after the 7th round. James, go ahead and give us your number 5. Start us off with your number 5.
So my number 5 is going to be, and I got to put this cat at number 5 because I don't like the team that he plays for. In fact, I hate them with passion. But I got to go. I got in the 6 drafts I looked at, he was averaging about 7.4, 7.4, 7.5. And he will be the number 1 on this garbage team, I think. But Chase Claypool at 7.4. I think he's the wide receiver 1 in Pittsburgh, and I think there's a lot of value there at flex. Or, God, he's a starter in the 7th round. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think it's a great pick. I think the key for me with the flex play is, would you be willing to play this person at your RB2 or your wide receiver 2 weekly? Are they that caliber player that you would put them in that position, but you're just so stacked at wide receiver, or you're so stacked at RB that you have to throw them in the flex play? So to me, a great flex player is somebody that you're playing anyway in that spot. So, and Chase Claypool's a guy I would start.
Absolutely.
But with Chase, man, I mean, they already, even though, Pittsburgh kind of wants to kind of get back to the ground and pound, they didn't really do much, in the way of their offensive line with the run game. So I still think they're going to lean heavily on that, short pass game like they did last season. So I think Chase is still going to be like a really, really valuable. I mean, even a wide receiver too, depending if you're short on receivers. I mean, I could see you playing him, at wide receiver too, from on a weekly basis, especially if he's short.
For sure. And that's the quality of a good flex play. So good pick, James. Brandon, who do you got at number 5?
My number 5 for me is going to be Damian Harris for the New England Patriots. So
and where's he going at? Yeah.
Right now he's going at about 89th.
Okay, and so which would be round 8. So
yeah. So
how I did mine was again. So we should have started this off. We're assuming 12-person league, which is the norm.
Yeah.
So pick 85 to 96 is round 8, 97 to 108 is round 9, 109 to 120 is round 10, 121 to 132 round 11, so on and so forth. So go ahead.
Yeah. So I got Damian Harris right now. I still think a little bit earlier and really throughout the season with the Patriots, he really started to take a little more prominent role, especially Sony Michel was kind of a little banged up. Like Damian Harris was doing some work, and I think they're definitely gonna get back to the ground and pound with the grabbing 2 tight ends. So I definitely think Damian Harris is gonna get a lot more burn there, because I think Rex Burkhead is gone too. So
yeah, he is.
So that's still gonna leave Sony Michel might come out as the 1, but I still think Damian Harris is definitely gonna get some rep yards because New England is still gonna want to go back to the ground game with Cam, and possibly if Mac Jones comes in as a starter. So.
Brandon, what do you think is his top end average per game?
For Damian Harris?
Points, non-PPR standard, yeah.
Standard.
It looks like he's at what right now? Like, I didn't pull it up.
Well, I'm going to say this while you look it up, Brandon. At the moment, I'm not a fan of that pick, and this is why. I want to stay away from him because even the RB1 in New England is an RB2 with a Cam Newton offense. So Cam Newton's going to steal all the touches around the goal line, and we all know that those goal line, that's that 6 points. You could end up with
that's that flex butter.
Yes, you could end up with 22 yards, but 2 touchdowns. You had a 14-point week. I'll take 14 my flex every time you give that to me. And Cam Newton, I think but so I don't think Damian Harris is a top 3 running back like on your team, which would not make him a good flex in my opinion. Now, if Mac Jones was the starter, I'm all over Damian Harris. I'm all over him. I think it's a great pick if the quarterback is Mac Jones. But with Cam Newton, I'm just personally staying away from the New England backfield.
Right. And so, and I agree with that. And that's the only reason why I asked you that, B, is because I think that if I'm looking at my flex play, I'm looking for double digits average for the year out of that role. Right. So whoever I decide to put in there, I'm looking to put in double digits, 10, 12 points. I'm good with that. In some cases, we'll talk about some people who've got the potential to go. I mean, Claypool's got the potential to go 21, 25. I mean, he could put
for me, though,
some bangers.
I mean, for me, that is still all of a personal preference, just based off of like the expectation of what you're expecting the offense to do as well. So it's not only based off what they did last year. I still feel like New England this year is going to get back to pounding the ball. Like I said, Rex Burkhead. I mean, even with Cam there last year, Sexy Rexy would come in and still some, but I mean he's gone. So I still think Damian Harris is going to end up being the bell cow there. But I think Sony Michel is going to be the actual one. But I still think Damian Harris is going to be the bell cow for that backfield. Which I mean I don't really see that as a flex play.
James and Brandon, what did you guys use? As you're looking at where people are drafted, your ADP.
I use Fantasy Pros.
Fantasy Pros. Okay, James, what did you use?
I use 6 different mocks on 6 different sites, man. I kind of took an average, and all the players I have on my list are all they all in all the drafts they were all going, and I used like 7.3 or 7.11.
Right.
You know what I mean? So 11th, 7th round, but I put their average out of those 6.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I just used ESPN because I know most people who are watchers. I feel like ESPN is the most common, so I just took from there.
Sure.
And ESPN has who's been drafted, who's being drafted where, in all of their mock drafts, the average. That's what I went with. So I'll give my number 5 pick. My number 5 pick is a guy who was a number 1 wide receiver last year, and he's currently going the 11th round, but a new face in a new place, Marvin Jones Jr. I wouldn't be shocked if he takes a lot of touches from DJ Chark, who was a disappointment last year, and I can never pronounce the guy's name, but like Lenat Chenault, but that dude. I know I'm saying it wrong. Brandon, what's his name?
You said La Chenault.
The wide receiver in Jacksonville, his name is like Lenabs the Chenault.
Yeah.
I don't know. That guy. Anyways, I will not be shocked if Marvin Jones comes in, builds an immediate connection with Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence respects his veteran leadership, and he puts up wide receiver 2 numbers this year. I would not be shocked to see Marvin Jones finish as a wide receiver 2. So to have that in your flex play, I think would be incredible. And Trevor Lawrence, Marvin Jones isn't taking a big back seat from Matthew Stafford, Trevor Lawrence, at least going off potential. I think Trevor Lawrence can have a really good year, a Matthew Stafford even type of year, because he was that type of caliber of player in college. He's a rookie. You never know. A lot of questions with a rookie. But I think Marvin Jones Jr. probably finish as a low-end wide receiver 2, which is a great flex play. From the 11th round, especially. So, all right, James, give me your number 4.
I don't get to give you my opinion on Marvin Jones Jr.
Oh yeah, yes, of course.
Look at James. I
didn't say anything. He didn't say anything.
I just thought Marvin Jones Jr. when he was in Detroit, if you ever started him in a flex, he was so hit or miss then. Yeah. Imagine how hit or miss he's going to be in Jacksonville now. So I don't like that pick as a flex pick. I mean, I think if you're strapped, you take that cat. But I mean, you said 7th on. We're talking about 7th round on hot flex.
Right.
I'm not considering that dude. To be honest with you, that dude's waiver to me.
I'm looking at value at each round. This is the 11th round. In the 11th round, I think that's incredible. Value.
I would do without that dude.
Yeah. And that's the thing too. Like him, I definitely agree with James. Like Marvin Jones Jr. He would definitely be a waiver guy that I would kind of look past. I mean, honestly, just like James said, I mean, I definitely trust Matthew Stafford more than I trust, Trevor Lawrence. Right. New offense. They're going to try to They're gonna want to run the ball more. I'm telling you, they are definitely going to get Chark more involved with the offense than they did last year. So I think Trevor Lawrence is a better quarterback than Gardner Minshew, but I think
absolutely.
It's going to be the rookiness that comes in. But they spent really high draft capital, a first round pick on Travis Etienne. They still got James Ross from last year. They done brought in Tebow. So I think the offense is going to be kind of quirky. And like James said, it's not going to be consistent enough for me to draft him in the second round.
Okay, tell me this. They're losing by a bunch. They got to throw some bombs in the fourth quarter. Who's Trevor throwing to?
Sure. So I got you. I hear you. Yeah, I'm with you, Chuck, too. But he might get some garbage. But at the end of the day, I just don't like. Yeah, I just don't like that pick. I'm not gonna like that guy.
I'm not gonna throw a guy in the flex because I hope that Jacksonville's getting blown out. You know what I mean? So they can
I don't think you need to hope it. I think it's gonna happen. All right, James. Go number 4.
All right. My number 4 is gonna be the RB1. He's currently going late 8th, like 8.11 on average. So that's like second to last. I've seen him go early 9. But David Johnson in Houston, he's listed in their depth chart as the running back 1. He's going to get the start. I mean, do I think he's going to score a boatload of points? No, but I think that I could count on him to get me 10.
I wouldn't count on 10, but it depends on what you need out of your flex. So I think the question is how you play your flex. If you say I need at least 6 points from my flex this week, then David Johnson's probably a good play. If you are looking at your lineup and saying, man, I think I'm outmatched this week, I need somebody with a flex that has potential to be a game changer. I don't think David Johnson's that guy. And not trying to boost my own thing, I think Marvin Jones would have that potential of being something bigger. I don't think David Johnson has much big play.
But see, the thing is, if I'm going with flex play, I'm always going to go running back over receiver, unless that receiver is showing me something that I'm like, because with the receiver, there's too many variables. There's play calling, there's situational football. With the running back, like if I had to pick one, I would definitely take David Johnson over Marvin Jones easily, just because he's the RB1 as a running back. So goal line touches. I mean, there's short yardage situations. There's the ability for him to catch pass out of the backfield.
I don't know that Houston's going to be on the goal line this year.
but that's my point. Even if Deshaun Watson doesn't play, that's going to give you a more idea that David Johnson is definitely going to have a higher role in the offense. If Deshaun Watson is there, they're going to come out slinging it with whoever the backup is. I don't even know who the backup is for Houston right now, but they definitely going to come out slinging it. Hoping the backup gets 5,000 yards this season. They're going to play defense and run the ball because that's a brand new head coach. They're still going to be conservative. So I think David Johnson is definitely a really, really good flex play because, like I said, I guess I'm biased. I'm always going to, if I have a running back on my bench, I'm always going to.
So let's just clarify. You're talking standard too, not PPR.
Yeah, both of them.
Yeah, I thought that's what we were talking.
No. I just want to make sure I understand. You're saying always.
Well, yeah.
I'm not always going to if it's PPR, but we're standard. Yeah, standard. Overall in standard, it's better to play a running back over a wide receiver, especially if it's not a wide receiver 1 for a team.
And especially if it's a running back 1.
Well, what I would say, the reason I'm saying overall is because I feel like David Johnson, I mean, for all of his woes the past few years, he's made his bread on being a receiving back. So I still think there's going to be some catching opportunities. Like he is a 3-down back. Like he can play third down, so he's still going to get the opportunity to make some PPR catches.
All right.
Yeah, significant flex value, late 8th, early 9th.
Brandon, number 4.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with running back myself. Kind of risky, I feel like kind of boom or bust, to kind of take a swing at him. I would say James Conner in Arizona. In Arizona. I really like James Conner. I've always been a James Conner fan. I still think he's a tough running back. Arizona's probably going to try to, even though they acquired AJ Green, I still think there's going to be some opportunities for him and Chase to split. Chase, I don't think is going to be an every down back. He's not going to be a bell cow. I think at some point throughout the season, James Conner will emerge as the RB1 in Arizona if he stays healthy.
I actually listed him. I don't have him in my top 5, but I listed him. He's currently going like early 9. And Chase is listed as the running back one, but I like James. I'm with you, dude. I think he's a stud, even though he played for a team that I despise. He was good. He's good, man, and he's a fighter. So at the end of the day, he's got good hands. He runs the ball hard. I can see the Cardinals going with get him getting a lot of touches, an opportunity like you like. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I like that pick.
I'm not mad at it. If I had 6, that was my number 6 flex play value after the 7th round. So yeah, I thought it was a good pick. All right. Number 4 for me, I've got to go with Rojo. I looked at the depth chart. Right now, Leonard Fournette is listed as the number 1 running back for the Bucks, but I don't believe in him. I don't know if he's ever stayed healthy a season in his life. And that's probably going back to Pee-wees, you know? I don't think he's ever been healthy a whole season. And also, even if he is healthy, he's going to split carries with Ronald Jones. Ronald Jones, I don't think is a star, but I think he's flex play worthy. And right now he's going in the 10th round. I think that's great value for a flex. I actually, last year, at the end of the year, Fournette was coming on strong. But other than that, Ronald Jones was the RB1. And the reports out of camp at the moment are Ronald Jones is looking strong. So I anticipate him getting 40+% of the touches, 40-ish, I would say is fair. And for a flex play on an offense that's going to be that dynamic, as long as Father Time doesn't finally catch up with the man who Father Time can never catch up with, I expect Ronald Jones to have probably an RB3-ish year, which is the perfect flex. I would say he probably finishes around RB 34, which is a top 3 back, which is what you want.
Where's he going? ESPN.
ESPN, he's going in the 10th round.
And so Fournette was going what, like mid-9?
Fournette was going in the 7th, so he did not qualify for this.
Wow.
On there. Yeah.
So this was after the 7th, huh?
Correct.
After the 7th.
Wow.
Okay.
All right. So number 3, James, give us your number 3. Unless you guys have some pushback on that.
No.
I'm not mad at Ronald Jones. You know, I think Brady opens up the running game. I think we're okay.
Yeah, especially 10th round.
That's okay. Yeah. No, not bad. I got a 9.8, and I'm going with another wide receiver. I know that you don't like this, but
I got 2 wide receivers there. So just
okay. Well,
this hypocrite son of a
no, I didn't see the backs I like, but go ahead.
Yeah, so he's listed as a wide receiver 1 on the depth chart in San Fran, and it's I expect a pretty big year from Deebo Samuel. I mean, I think that kid's a stud, and at late 9, I mean, and early 10, I saw him too. So I mean, geez, for a wide receiver 1 in San Fran, I'm snatching that all day for a flex and shit. I might start. Oh, sorry, I cursed. I might put him in my wide receiver slot in some weeks. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I like Debo too, because I feel like he's a Swiss Army knife. Like San Francisco uses him in a lot of different ways. Short yardage, he can get downfield. I mean, he knows how to get open. So I think his opportunity, especially in PPR, is gonna surpass. You know, and I mean Shanahan is super creative with getting his playmakers the ball. So I can definitely rock with Debo. I'm not just for I'm not against wide receivers completely, but if I had a back I like better,
sure sounded like it.
It's not. I just don't trust in Marvin Jones, who I've had in previous advantage years, on top of Trevor Lawrence,
we all have
new quarterback, new offense, like all that good stuff. All those factors matter for me.
Yeah.
So I like the pick too. I think getting a part of that 49ers offense, any part other than Jimmy G, I think it's probably gonna be a good part. I don't think Jimmy G is gonna be a good fantasy quarterback, but I think he's gonna feed people. And whether I think the question is tough. I know you say he's listed as the wide receiver 1, but if it's really going to be him or Brandon Ayuk who have the better season, either way, I think those would both be good picks, especially at that value.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely.
All right, Brandon, you're number 3.
My number 3 is I'm going to go with wide receiver. All right.
God.
That's why I just put out a disclaimer earlier. I'm like, don't jump down my throat. All right, I took a wide receiver, but I'm going to go with Mecole Hardman, right? And my reasons for right now, he's going about 11, 12. I've seen he's overall 139-ish, wide receiver 55. But I think right now they have him listed as wide receiver 2, and I feel like that offense is still going to be high powered and potent. They lost Sammy Watkins to Baltimore, so he's out of there. So they still got Denard Robinson as a 3. But I think Mecole Hardman, they do use him on kick return, punt return. I feel like he's gonna be have more of a prominent role in the offense with lots of Sammy Watkins on the other down. So I think his opportunity to snag balls, plus with his return ability, is definitely going to make him I would play him in the flex this year. And I mean, if you can get the opportunity to get a weapon from Kansas City, get one.
Yeah, I put a wide receiver in number 5, but I just like running backs my flex over wide receivers. So I just
that is sarcasm.
My picks, it's not though. My picks 1 through 4 are all running backs.
Hey,
really?
Listen. All jokes aside, Mecole got wheels, man. The kid's got wheels. He has the potential to have blowout games. Especially against teams that have, island cover corners. You know what I'm saying? That are going to hit Tyreek and they're not going to let him get the rock. So,
and not just him, Kelsey too.
Yeah, but they're one. I mean, those 2 receivers are 1-2 speed. Like, so I mean, I like that. You said he was going where 11, 12?
I think he's going 12th.
Yeah, he's 12. Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's super value. I dig that pick.
Yeah, it's a great value. Can't get mad at that. Other than it's just a wide receiver. I don't need to go wide receiver. All right, my number three. I'm pulling out a rook right now, averaging on ESPN in the 11th round. Now I don't expect him to be the starter at the very beginning of the year, but by week 5,
I already know he's gonna say
I project him to be the starter. And to get in the 11th round an RB1, an offense that is just as good as David Johnson's, if not maybe a little bit better, I think. The Jets, Michael Carter, rookie, going in the 11th round. I expect him to be the starter. I think he's the most talented back in the backfield for the Jets. I expect Tevin Coleman to be the starter to start the season. So if you need somebody, if you didn't go running back early and you're like, shoot, I need a couple running backs to start late in my draft, Tevin Coleman would be a pick. And then you watch the waiver wire and maybe somebody gets injured, you can get the backup, you can fill spots in. But if you do go running back early and you solidify those spots, which to me are the most key, you go running back early, you solidify your running back roles, which are your bell cows. Then later in the draft, you could take the ones with potential and the ones that have RB1, RB2 potential, and you play them in the flex weekly. And to me, Michael Carter's that guy. Starting week, I'm going to say at least 5, if not sooner, Michael Carter is going to be one of, if not the best flex plays. I think he finishes the year as a running back 2, as long as he stays healthy, of course. I think he's got that sort of talent. And they like to run the heck out of rookies. So I see Michael Carter having a very good year.
Yeah. I'm not mad at that pick because I mean, with new head coach, him being a defensive minded coach coming from San Francisco, he's going to want to keep it simple with a rookie quarterback, play solid defense and run the ball. So I still think even with the addition of Tevin Coleman, like there's going to be enough footballs and enough carries to go around for him to have some value, because I mean, even if he scores 1 rushing touchdown a game, I mean, for that's still solid on top of maybe some yards. I mean, you're looking at least 10 points a game.
I think he comes up with at least 40 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see him averaging 10, 11 points a game, which is great for your flex.
Yeah.
Whoa, I don't see that, but I'm not mad. I don't know how much they're going to run the ball, man. I just don't know how, and with a full backfield, I just don't know how much they're going to. And he's a rook. So I'm with you around week 5. But do you draft a kid who's potentially RB3, RB2? Do you draft that kid? Do you use a draft pick on that kid?
In round 11, where he's going, absolutely.
Yeah,
I would even take him. I would
Okay.
even take him around early in the 10th.
Bro,
If he's
I
there,
got you. And based on the way you explained it, I think if a rookie is listening to this, they kind of go, okay, if I do have my 2
right,
hits, then then there's no harm in taking this kid.
right.
I got you.
If you got 2 stud running backs in your top 3 picks, you should feel, as long as you're not an idiot, you should feel very good that your RBs 1 and 2 are locked up. So you can work around, do what feels right for you in your draft, but then you need to worry about the flex. You need to worry about season long, and I think as the season progresses, Michael Carter is going to be a great value pick for you going in the 11th round. If you take him around early in the 10th, I still like that pick.
Yeah,
I don't disagree with that.
Yeah.
All right, James, number 2.
Number 2, he's currently going mid 8. I've seen him late 8. But Melvin Gordon in Denver. Dude, Melvin Gordon, he's in Denver. And if you pick him up late, I mean, it's Melvin Gordon in Denver. I mean, they don't have Phillip Lindsay anymore. I think he's going to get more touches. They'll throw him the ball. I mean, I'm not real happy about Denver's offense, but it's still Melvin Gordon, and playing him in a flex role. If you do have your 1 and 2, in your pocket. I mean, Melvin Gordon late 8's not a bad pick.
Braden, what do you thought?
I'm extremely bullish on Melvin Gordon this year in general. But if you can get him to be your flex back, I mean, I got to think you're doing something pretty solid with drafting. So that I'd be on board with taking Melvin Gordon as a flex back.
James, where did you see him going?
Mid 8th was the average. I seen him going as late as 10th round or 10th pick, 8th round.
Okay, so I have him as my number 2 as well. So I'm just gonna jump in and just say that. Throw my number 2 pick out there because I couldn't agree more. On ESPN, he's going in the 10th round.
Sheesh.
The 10th round to get what is a good starting running back in the 10th round. And the concern with him is just that they think he might lose his job to Javonte Williams.
Yep.
Okay. But that is a starting running back, that's a flex one. That's even maybe like your RB in the 8th, 9th, 10th round. You may be taking him as your RB4. That is incredible value. And even if you were to lose the starting job, I can't personally see it going more than 60-40 one way or the other. So maybe Javonte Williams gets 60, Melvin Gordon gets 40. That's still not that bad with the talent Melvin Gordon has for a flex play.
And he's good.
With Melvin Gordon in the past, man, he's always a freaking touchdown vulture, man. That dude, man, they get into that red zone. That dude will steal some touchdowns, man. He will steal them.
All right, Brandon, number 2.
My number 2, man. You guys might call it a homer pick. Another wide receiver is my last wide receiver, though. Jalen Waddle, man. Jalen Waddle, my man. I really think he is going to have a ginormous breakout
Where's
season.
he going?
Right now, he's going 9-10-ish. With Will Fuller right now, who's currently suspended, and then nobody ever wants to depend on Devontae Parker. So
are you sure he's suspended? Because I know you put information on this podcast before that was wrong. Like Todd Gurley, you said like a week or 2 ago, Todd Gurley signed with the Ravens.
I looked up afterwards earlier saying that he signed with the Ravens, and you're like, oh, he visited the Ravens. I'm like, okay, cool.
I acted all shot. I'm like, wow, that's breaking news to me. And I look it up. I'm like, yeah, it's breaking fake news. It's all Trump.
You almost dropped a Woj bomb on the fantasy podcast.
No, I mean, according to ESPN, he is suspended. So I'm currently checking it out right now. But with Waddle, I feel like he's gonna have a huge breakout year. I definitely think that they're gonna break the reins from Tua a little bit and allow him to distribute. And Jalen Waddle is going to be active in the return game. I am all for wide receivers that pull double duty, man, because you can snag some fantasy points that way too. But I definitely think I don't ever want to trust Devontae Parker in my entire life for the rest of my life. I've done it.
No. That's a Marvin Jones pick. But check
or Will Fuller.
Yeah.
Neither one of those guys. They always get hurt.
I
Right.
don't
So, but
I don't trust anybody Tua's throwing to this year. I just
but
don't trust Tua.
and I was just gonna say that. So like I love that kid. I think Waddle is nasty. I think Waddle's gonna have a fantastic NFL career. I am just and I was super high on Tua. If you listen to our first podcast, I think we talked a lot about Tua and the things he was doing prior to camp. And the things that he's even doing now. But what he's doing is he's like trying to have meetings with his guys to get everybody on the same page. And I think the problem with that, and I hear that he's having a little bit of trouble with the playbook. So I'm worried about Tua. I love Waddle, and I hope to God that's a great pick. I just worry about Tua and his ability to play at the level we need him to play in order for Waddle to be a good pick.
Same. I want Waddle to do well. I just don't really believe in Tua at this moment, so that's why I'm staying away from.
And I feel like there are some factors that.
All right, 5 minutes.
There are some factors that hampered Tua last year, but they got a new OC, so I definitely think things are going to be different for him this year.
All right, Brandon, you went from number 2. Give us number 1 now. What's your number one pick?
Baby. Number one, I have Mr. Trey Sermon, man.
Yo, that's nasty, dude. I am going late. I almost had him one, but I thought one of y'all might have him one.
What round do you see him going in?
Right now it looks like on average he's going what? We're looking at about 7, 8.
I got early 8.
Well, so 7 would not qualify for this podcast.
Well, I mean, some leagues I've seen 7, some leagues I've seen 8.
Okay.
So it depends on what play you go to here. So
yeah, and I have my average is early 8. I got him 8-1.
Yeah.
Okay. And the reason I saw him going on ESPN, it was 6th or 7th. I don't remember off the top of my head, but it was 6th or 7th.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't count him. But
good. I definitely think in this offense, man, I've been raving about Trey, and I don't really talk about guys that much, but I mean, it's
you mean the best.
But I mean, I definitely think that it's something about that Shanahan offense, man. He can grab one of us 3 and throw us in the backfield, and we do the numbers and that. I don't know what it is, man, but I think Trey Sermon is definitely going to have an opportunity with Raheem Mostert. That dude is always hurt, man. He's talented, but he's always hurt. But I think Trey Sermon is definitely going to have a huge opportunity. And right now, where he's being drafted, he could potentially become like a weak starter. Like, I mean, not even talking about the flex.
No doubt. No doubt.
But if you can snag him that late and then play him in the flex, and then let's just say you have 3 strong backs already. You know what I mean? So to add him in the mix, I think he definitely has the potential to become like a weak starter that's not even flex.
Right. Yeah. All right. We're low on time.
Let me just say this. I'll always agree with a Buckeye, and they signed him quick. So that means they're gonna give him the rock.
James, who's your number 1?
My number 1 is a homer pick for sure.
Oh yeah.
He's going late. He's going late 9, early 10. So I got him. The average is early 10. But Jarvis Landry in Cleveland. I mean, dude, it's Jarvis Landry. I mean, I got OBJ going early 7. I think Jarvis has a better fantasy. Well, I don't know. I think OBJ's got a super high upside, but I think Jarvis is the real workhorse in that wide receiver core. And he's the guy, taking those shots over the middle. I think he gets the ball more often than OBJ, and I think he averages 10 points a game this year. So, and you know what? I'm putting a Brown. I already put a Steeler and an ex-Steeler. I'm putting a Brown on my list, baby, and I'm going with Juice.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it. If this is PPR, I absolutely was going to put him, and that's what just kept him off my list. I still like the value. I think and we were talking about him versus OBJ. Jarvis's floor is a lot higher as opposed to OBJ's floor. OBJ's ceiling is a lot higher as opposed to Juice's ceiling. So that's where you're picking and choosing. But yeah, I'm not mad at the pick at all. All right. Well then, Brandon went silent, so I'm going to give my number 1.
You said we run low on time, so I just want you to get your pick in.
All right. Well, I appreciate it. All right. All right. Yeah. My number 1 pick, I'm sticking in the backfield. The same one Brandon's hanging out in. That 49ers backfield. Going in the 8th round right now, according to ESPN, Raheem Mostert. The RB1 at the moment. And even if he is the RB2 with Trey Lance there, if that does happen, with that Kyle Shanahan offense, both of those guys are flex-worthy players week in and week out. Maybe even RB2 Raheem Mostert is RB2 worthy. And Trey Sermon may develop into that as the season goes on. But at this moment, Raheem Mostert, stud, monster. Yes, he probably won't be healthy for the whole season, but stud, monster, 8th round, scoop up as many shares of him as you can get.
I just, if somebody has a history of injuries, I'm always afraid, man. I'm not saying it's not a bad pick if he, so happens survives and he does, because right now he's hurt. So that would already scare that, and that's probably the reason why he's so low, because he's already injured.
Yeah, but you gotta expect him to play more games. He doesn't in the 8th round. That talent and that offense, gotta take it.
Yeah.
All right. This has been the Fantasy Freaking Football Podcast, coming at you with the top flex plays after the 7th round. Brandon, say something.
Stay weary. Watch your notes, man. Keep paying attention and keep beating the pavement, man. Just stay in the loop, man.
All right, James, give me something.
2 players that weren't mentioned, but great values in the 8th round: Jerry Jeudy and Tyler Boyd.
Yeah, I'm a Tyler Boyd fan. I think he has a good year. So yeah, and Jerry Jeudy. I think Jerry Jeudy is a good pick. Again, just like how Brandon was talking about the or Cam Newton and Damian Harris. I don't like Damian Harris if Cam Newton's the quarterback. I don't like Jerry Jeudy as much if Drew Lock is the quarterback. I like it more if Teddy Bridgewater is quarterback.
Sure. Agreed.
And so this was flex plays, but if we're to throw out a little value after the 8th round, after the 7th round, some people I wanted to add to the list that weren't flex necessarily. Tannehill going in the 8th round on ESPN, Stafford going in the 9th round on ESPN, and the Gronkster going in the 11th round. Typically don't think more than one tight end, but you got to expect Gronk you can play Gronk in your flex, but it's not usually the route you want to go in flex. But Gronk, I'm certain he's going to finish as a tight end 1. So to get your tight end 1 in the 11th, I like the value.
Yeah, I mean, Gronk necessarily. I definitely value-wise in those picks. I mean, I guess you could say for me, I guess you could say quarterbacks, but I mean, I feel like, I don't know. I'm really bullish on at that point of like quarterbacks are kind of expected to go into the later rounds. I'm not a huge fan of Gronk. I think in crunch time and clutch moments, like how he did in the Super Bowl, but I think from a week to week play, I wouldn't.
OJ.
Yeah, I mean, because OJ is coming back.
OJ is hurt already.
Is that breaking news or fake news?
Is that a Woj bomb?
You drop a Woj bomb?
I thought that was common knowledge.
but I mean, he's coming off, but he's still coming off of injury, and I still feel like he's gonna be the more durable back. Like I still feel like that they're gonna play Gronk in spurts, man. He's getting older, man.
I don't know. I think the old T-Bird trusts him way too much. I think Tom Brady's gonna.
I'll say this. I mean, whatever you do in the 11th round, it's not going to crush your face. But I do like Stafford out there in LA, man. I do like. Stafford.
I like him a lot. I'm okay with starting Stafford or Tannehill every week. This is 8th, 9th round we're talking about. So to handle my business and all of my other spots, and then go and take my quarterback in 8th or 9th round and end up with those, happy.
Ain't gonna hurt you. Ain't gonna hurt you. Yep.
All right. Well, this has been another edition of the Fantasy Freaking Football Podcast. Hey, check out the links below. I'll send some information for you. If you guys need anything, draft kits and stuff, we'll put them down below so you can check them out. It's ones we recommend. Other than that, we'll see you next time.
Fantasy Freaking Football Podcast, yeah.